I had been a beneficiary of the hospice's services. I was 15 and I was like them, like the children in our camp. I was like any other teenager in our camp, wanting to understand everything that being a teenager meant, but somehow conscious that our family had changed. In the beginning, it was really difficult. My mother had been diagnosed with a brain tumor, and at first my grandmother tried to hide the diagnosis from me, even thought I felt it, being extremely connected to my mother. When I was 6 years old, my parents decided to separate. I stayed with my mother while my brother lived with my father, and for a period of time there was only the two of us. There was nobody else around. It was very hard for me during the time that my mother became a hospice patient. Things started developing differently. In hospice, I met lots of people who had been there for me, some of whom are my colleagues now, and I can say without a doubt that they've been known me since I was a lost teenager. But I do believe that things happen for a reason. It had been a very difficult experience. I was underage when my mother passed away, and I had to be fostered by my grandmother, and that was hard for me. I felt that after God had taken my mother, I connected to people that felt like angel at that time. They were there for me, and that meant a lot to me. These camps that we are organizing now had been a huge help for me as a teenager. I succeeded in opening up. It was incredibly difficult talking about my mother, about the fact that I was fostered by my grandmother, but the support that I received meant a great deal to me. It is very difficult while you are a child, to balance your feelings and your emotions, to just deal with whatever comes your way. But the fact that there were people able to help you, guide you, and just being there for you means a great deal. You know that no matter how hard it gets, you have someone a phone call away, you have someone close by, and you are not alone. So seeing what the hospice people are trying to do for the children and their families in this camp determined me to remain close after I succeeded in balancing my emotional state after losing my mother, and I wanted to become a volunteer. I was 17 then, and I wanted to become a volunteer for the pediatric unit. Looking back, I now realize that it was very difficult to attend the adult section at that point. between me and my mom, there was still a strong connection, because I knew that she had been there, and during her last year she had been hospitalized many times. I used to see her at hospice. I used to visit. There had been periods in which I was more than home, and I felt that she was no longer here in person, but we had a connection in this special place. Things have fallen into place in a way that I know now feel part of this puzzle. I feel like I belong here and my help is important. That's how I also became a social worker in the organization where I was first a beneficiary, a volunteer, and it was a soul fulfillment for me and a sense of belonging that I received, that I feel I deserve, and that brings me satisfaction, that I can be with people and that I know how much it matters to get help when it's hard. There's something magical around us that happens, and we are not left to chance, even if it sometimes seems that way.